This is the most avoided muck in all of Pokemon history. I doubt that anyone has been so determined not to knock it out. I've increased the recording speed to 1.5. I did not want to take too long on this. And in comes the Bisharp and the Drapion. Surprisingly enough, this Bisharp was not holding an item, as you'll see here. Drapion tried to crunch onto a Rangaroo. If that was a double focus, I could have lost a Rangaroo in the Trick Room, but that's a Brick Break onto Drampa. Something kind of funny, this Drampa actually is missing all of its HP, defense, and special defense IVs, and it still tanked a super effective Brick Break. You may be wondering how the Bisharp is holding the Sticky Barb. That's because Drampa lost it. A Rangaroo switches out for the Muk. It is not an Instruct Hyper Voice Berserk. And I go for the Glare to paralyze the Drapion after playing Nicing it. Cross Potion takes out the Drampa. You should see it coming. It's Power of Alchemy. This Muk can now raise its special attack. Back in comes the Rangaroo. It's time for setup. Muk has the Minimize. You can probably tell what's going to happen. Rangaroo has Instruct. The opponent now has a 3/7 chance of hitting me. But a Rangaroo, it's being focused. Assurance, that's bad. A Rangaroo takes double damage on the stab. It goes down. Tapu Fini, that's the last Pokemon on this team. I was running the Tapu Fini because I kind of feared getting burned or paralyzed on the Muk. But as it turns out, Tapu Fini, it's not the best partner for this if the opponent is Sap Sipper. So I needed a Pokemon that can take care of Sap Sipper Pokemon a little better. Tapu Fini, it has the Psych Up. Another problem with this Fini was that it didn't have reliable healing, which was a problem. But it worked out offensively, but since everyone was trying to avoid attacking the Muk, it's a Psych Up Fini. Any attacking the Muk powers up the Fini. The Fini needed better health options, so I had to switch it out later team builds. Gyarados comes in, that's Intimidate. The attack falls, that doesn't matter, I'm using special attacks only. Sorry if I didn't narrate fast enough. That was a Soak earlier on the Tapu Fini. That makes it so that Grass Knot is super effective and Giga Drain is super effective. That's right, this Muk is running Minimize, Stockpile, Giga Drain, and a Recycle Citrus Berry. The Citrus Berry makes it so that I can continually heal up over half and get the Berserk procs over and over. Giga Drain does the same thing. I can get Berserk procs over and over and deal damage while doing it. Soak makes it so that everything is super effective on that grass. It also has Ice Beam for those flying and dragon types, or the Garchomps, or the Dragonites. Basically whatever I can deal with quickly. And since Bisharp has been losing its Sticky Barb health, I felt I didn't need to focus it at all. Gyarados, it has the Earthquake, and it takes out the Bisharp anyway. Here's the Giga Drain. I just wanted to show off. He wasn't going to do any damage to me, so I decided to do damage to him. Now this Muk, it's ruined by Pokemon with the ability... Oh, I forgot the name of the ability. I think Tentacruel has it. It makes it so that healing moves by draining actually become damaging moves. So I needed a way to take that out without healing from it, which is what the Tapu Fini was intentionally there for. But with Soak, I realized I could do something else. If I Soak an opponent, they are not immune to both Toxic and to Giga Drain. So I decided to take advantage of that in a later build. Drapion, it's back in, it's soaked. The Garchomp, it used Protect. I know I can get off an Ice Beam. Drapion, it's going down soon. Ice Beam onto Garchomp. I think this is a bulky invested Tapu Fini, but it still got the job done. And I put a lot of PP ups into this Muk because I needed to stall out the Berserk. I need to get my attack up before I can challenge, and this battle is already over. Next up is Day. He actually really put some troubles into this variant. I decided to skip the setup. Muk currently has the Berserk. None of the opponents really took any damage. I did snarl them. They snarled me. That's going to be a problem. Snarl counteracts the effects of the Berserk. I needed to get rid of that Pyroar quickly, but I didn't have my Feeny in this set. I had a Clefairy, so I needed to adjust my setup. This Oranguru, you probably can guess, it has the Trick Room, it has the Instruct, it's going to have the Psych Up, it's going to have the Stored Power. It's losing damage because of those Snarls. I think I'm currently at -4, maybe 5 Snarl. No, wait, 3 or 4. Muk stockpiles again, I'm at full stockpile. I might be at full minimize. Stored Power, even at -3, that deals about a third of Pyroar's health. And here I knock it out. I can more easily set up my Berserks. Rabombi, it has the Pollen Puff. That could be annoying. If I try to go for Noivern, Pollen Puff can just keep it healthy, which is annoying. Oranguru, it's slow, but it has the Pinch Berry. It's Neopapa, and that Noivern goes for Hurricane. I'm kind of surprised that it's not running Rain. That allows Hurricane to bypass the evasion boosts and makes it so that it always hits. If he had done that, I would have been in more trouble. Stored Power, I'm still at minus a lot, but I can't do anything about it. The title of this video is Notice Me, Senpai. That's because everyone is avoiding this Muk, and as you might have seen by the thumbnail, I have 2 fingers pointing at it. It has Instruct, and it has a move that the Clefairy will have. I hope I can show it soon. I don't want to delay. Noivern has a Dragon Pulse. Oranguru goes for the Trick Room. Please tell me that I switched out early. I want to show this off. Yes, I did. I switched out early. Clefairy comes in. The opponent was using Dragon Pulse. Muk has the stockpile. Dragon Pulse does not affect the fairy type. I use Psych Up. This is a Friend Guard Clefairy, and he decides to go for his Z move right here. It's the Dragonium Z move onto Muk. Personally, I would have lowered Muk a little more. I know about the 3 stockpiles, and I get my first Berserk. I'm now at only -2 or 3. And here's the other pointing. Spotlight. People were avoiding attacking this Muk for so long, I decided to force them to attack. At first, I was afraid that using Spotlight had bypassed accuracy, as you're about to see here, but turns out this is likely only a lucky Noivern. Although I would not mind if the attack Spotlight bypassed normal accuracy changes and just relied on regular move, because I have Moonlight, I have Recycle, I have Stored Power on this Clefairy. I can take skipping a turn of Spotlights to rely on regular accuracy minimize. And the opponent forfeits there. He realizes that he's just powering me up, and I can defeat him easily. In comes Chris. Again, I'm going to skip the intro, but you can probably guess what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of damage going. He switches out his Pelipper when he sees the Trick Room. And I've got some set up already. There's some minimized stockpiles on that Muk, the Berserks on it. And Pyukumuku, this is unaware, even if that Wigglytuff got the special attack boosts, Pyukumuku will ignore it. Pyukumuku I switched out for Tapu Fini because it had Rest. It also has Psych Up, Toxic, and Soak. If it's a poison or a steel type, I can soak it and toxic it. And if I want to take it out, I can soak it and Giga Drain on the Muk. It depends on what ability it has or what I want to do with it. Wigglytuff, it's now toxic. It'll slowly go down. The reason why I toxic the Wigglytuff was that I was afraid it would get to +6 and then use an attack that hits my Alolan Muk over there. +6 against +3 is not as helpful as I'd want. I also talked to the Arcanine, figured I might as well slowly wither everything down. So as you can see, you can have a huge assortment of Pokemon allies for this Muk. Anything that's a special attacker that can use evasion or defenses will work. If you don't want to use evasion, I would recommend putting Belch on this Muk. You are going to be eating a berry a lot. And it's stab, and it's high damage. Soak onto the Wigglytuff. I'm planning to Giga Drain it next turn, see if I can force a switch and see what his back row is. Lopunny, it's the Mega. I anticipated Fake Out, maybe a high jump kick, Last Resort, but it had the Dizzy Punch, which was interesting to me. That's a +1, maybe a +2, no, definitely a +1 Giga Drain onto a tanky Wigglytuff. Not as much as you'd hope, but that's why Berserk is there. This is a tanky invested Alolan Muk. It gains damage on the +6 special attack. And that was an Iron Tail from that Megalopony, probably fairy coverage since it is gaining that fighting type. I soak it as well. Any stab it gets, it's lost. Another good reason to use soak. Any stab from the opponent that would really hurt. The damage is cut by 1/3 due to losing stab. Pelipper comes back in. It's already part water, but the part flying and possibly having Hurricane on top of the rain, that's bad. I mentioned that in an earlier battle. Hurricane, it bypasses accuracy. Muk is still being ignored. Notice it, Senpai. Or Senpais in this case, maybe. And I soak it. Hurricane loses stab. Lopunny has lost stab. Both are toxic. Both are weak to the Giga Drain. That Mega Lopunny had the Drain Punch, but it won't do as much due to losing stab. And it won't do much due to the stockpiles in the Psych Cup. That was 2 Hurricanes onto Pyukumuku. It's tanky. He can't negate tankiness by raising his special attack due to the effect of Unaware. He's not dealing much. That is only 16 damage onto Pyukumuku from a Hurricane that used to be stab, and I use Rest. So I have the evasion, I have the defenses, and I have the rest. I'm likely not going to be hit except for by Hurricane until I wake up, and he can't do anything about that. Since he sees that Pyukumuku is now a legitimate threat, he decides to target the Muk. Finally, someone is targeting the Muk in this video. And only because Pyukumuku was revealed to be even scarier. Arcanine comes back in. I forgot whether or not he's already used a Z move. Attack drops by Intimidate. That doesn't matter. He's using Flame Charge, which I found really weird. He has a shiny that he is not using properly competitively. He used Flame Charge in the rain, and it didn't really do much. I soak the Arcanine. It probably doesn't have a water move. It's not getting any stab. It's poisoned, which is being mitigated by the leftovers. But now Muk can just keep using Giga Drain. That Arcanine, it's stinky, which is probably why he had Flame Charge, to regain some of that speed. And here it's just a battle of patience. How patient is the opponent with this setup? I have Rest, I have Recycle, I have Berserk, I have Psych Up, I have Toxic on him, I have Soak on him. This was an Attract Arcanine, but yeah, it's meant to be really tanky. It's meant to be almost as annoying as Minimize. But he has nothing to show for it, and he goes down to the poison. The win is mine. Here is the full build for this team. There's the Drampa. It's made to be phasey and reduce the opponent's effectiveness. The Rangaroo set up into stored power. The Muk set up into Giga Drain. You've seen the other two, but Virizion, it's there for Sacred Sword. People were ignoring the Muk so much that I used Sacred Sword to hit it myself. So if you want to try this set out, feel free. You can make your own variants. You could try other Psych Up 4th Pokemon. Maybe a Comfey instead of a Ringaroo. Give it a shot. Try it out. Good luck.